Addie, and you're watching Peace of Mind Planning. I'm a busy mom of 2 small boys, a co-owner of 2 independent pharmacies, and a New Orleans-based estate planning lawyer. So come for legal tips and stay for a potential appearance by my kids. They're actually not here today, so we don't have to worry about that. It's been a while since I've recorded some of these videos, and I'm just trying to get back into it. So I see we don't have anybody joining us today because I forgot to advertise this session, but that's okay. We're still going to have the legal tips coming out. And in the spirit of tax season, today thought I would talk about whether or not you owe any tax on inheritance. So when most people think of tax, they think of income tax. You know, you're preparing them right now, or you already paid them, or you filed an extension, all that good stuff. And so when you receive property from an inheritance, it's not a realization event, which is what us tax folks call, a time when you are obligated to pay tax. So just receiving the property in and of itself does not require you to pay any tax. The real tax comes when you take that property that you have received and sell it. So that is where you may have heard about this stepped up basis that's been in the news lately. President Biden, and I think his last green book, wanted to do away with the stepped up basis. So let's talk a little bit about what that is. So your basis is essentially, I like to think of it as, it's typically what you pay for property. So if you buy a house for $100,000, your basis in the house is typically $100,000. But there's a special rule for inheritances. And for an inheritance, you get a stepped up basis to the date of death fair market value for your basis. So let's say your father bought the house for $100,000. He passes away. And the house, when he dies, is worth $400,000. Well, if you inherited that property, your basis in the property would be the fair market value of $400,000, not the $100,000 that he paid for it. And so if you immediately sell it for $400,000, you owe zero tax. Whereas if he had sold it in his lifetime, he would have owed the tax on the difference between the $400,000 and the $100,000. So he would have owed tax on $300,000. Now, notice I didn't say he owed $300,000 in tax, but he would have owed tax on $300,000. So at whatever his rate was. And so that's why the stepped up basis is very important. Protects lots of people from from owing any tax on inheritance if they immediately resell the property, and generally gives a good result even if they sell it at a later date. So that's one possible tax, you could owe on an inheritance and when you would owe it. The next one is the estate tax. And as you can guess, it would be on the estate of someone who has died. The estate tax is a flat 40% tax, which is obviously, a high rate. But the good thing is there is an exemption. So there is an exemption. The tax is not imposed until the estate has assets over this year it is for a single person individual right over $12 million. And if you're married, that would be right over $24 million. So that is a ton of money. And, I wish I had estate tax issues at that level, but I do not. So most people don't actually owe the estate tax. You might hear people call it the death tax, but not very many people actually owe it on anyone's death. So we talked about the income tax, the estate tax, and then there's also certain states impose an inheritance tax or an estate tax. Louisiana, shockingly, does not impose any tax on an inheritance. They used to do it. You used to have to go pay it, and before you could get your succession done, but that was done away with. You don't have to do that anymore. And so those are some possible ways an inheritance can affect your tax situation. If you have any questions about this or any questions in general that you would like me to answer, which would be awesome, you can email those to me at info@addieprewittlaw.com. That is info@addieprewittlaw.com. And so programming note, I'm going to start doing these again on the first Wednesday of the month. Today was the 6th. I'm not exactly sure what it will be in May, but once a month, I will do these. And so I'd love if anyone wants to join me live, I will try and remember to start advertising it or putting it on Facebook about a week before we intend to go live. And as always, if you want to follow, subscribe, do all of those things, so social media thinks I'm cool, I would appreciate that. You can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, SoundCloud, YouTube. You can search for Addie Prewitt, AddiePrewitt. So this is a short and quick one. All I have for you today. I don't have any kids to pop in and ruin my nice live video, but I look forward to talking with you soon. And as I said, I'm happy to answer any questions. All right, have a great day. Take care. Bye.